How is your preparation? How is your training? How is your sales production? You're probably wondering, what am I talking about? Welcome to Mindset and Attitude to Selling. This topic that I'm going to share with you, it's about preparation and training to successful selling, or to become successful at selling. Okay? I think and I believe, and in my experience, there's a lot of lack of real training or the right preparation and training to being a successful salesperson and producing more sales. So I'm going to share 5 bullet points. 4 of them are actions, and one of them is the result of those 4 actions. So buckle up, keep an open mind, take down some notes. If you find value in this video, smash the like button. Share your comments, let me know your thoughts, and there will be a link below. If you want to know more about mindset and attitude to selling, hit the link below. It'll lead you to my YouTube channel. Subscribe and watch some of the videos and share your comment. All right, let's get into this. All right, now there's going to be 5 points. The first 4 are basically action steps, and the 5th point is the result of those 4 action steps. Now, one of the things I've learned, no matter what we do in life, the way you train and prepare is the way you're going to perform. And there's 2 facets to training. One is the mental, the other one is the action. One is the mindset, the other one's the attitude. One is the cause, the other one's the effect. One is the action, the other one's the result. One is the vehicle, the other one's the destination. Does that make sense? I know I threw a lot at you there, but this is very, very important, because if you train wrong, you will perform wrong. So the number one thing that you absolutely need to train and prepare the right way is your mindset and the way you think. If you don't do that, then everything else is irrelevant. That's what I've learned. Okay? All right, number 1. And the first 4 steps, they could be considered vehicles, they could be considered weapons, they could be considered tools, but I'm going to name them what I believe they are, and then you decide however you want to categorize them. That's on you. What matters is the action and the end result. The number 1 thing that I believe anyone who's going to take the career of being a salesperson, or someone who's in sales right now and is stagnant and not producing consistently and not growing the way they feel they should, one of the major reasons is the wrong preparation, the wrong training. But number 1, you have to learn to master and be really, really good at cold calling. Let me repeat that. Cold calling is a very powerful tool. I like to call it a tool. And if you understand cold calling and you master how to cold call, it will develop the right fundamental habits. I believe it will prepare you and train you to become a dynamic and successful salesperson. That's what I personally believe. There are other tools you can use. For me, cold calling is number 1. Does that make sense? And before I go to number 2, is one of the reasons why people don't like cold calling or believe cold calling is irrelevant because of technology is because, 1, they don't know how to do it, and number 2, the other people are being taught wrong. Does that make sense? And it's not easy. That's why everyone doesn't like doing it. Does that make sense? All right, number 2, you have to learn how to sell. Selling to me is a vehicle. Most people don't train the right way in knowing how to sell. You see, selling is a skill. It's a vehicle. You have to know how to use that vehicle. You have to know how to drive that vehicle. It's a phenomenal skill to learn. and to master and to be really good at selling. Nothing wrong with it. Everybody's selling and everybody's buying. It's just the way it is. Does that make sense? Now, number 3, I think is overlooked and is not being talked enough in the sales coaching industry. But rebuttals is such a powerful weapon, or rebuttals are powerful weapons. It's one of the most important ways to train and prepare for high ticket items, for selling anything. You have to understand the prospect. Now, most people call them opponents. I don't like to use the word opponents, but for this case, let's just say your opponent. You have to know what your opponent is going to throw at you. You have to know how to counterpart that, right? Like a boxer. You know, you got the jab, the right hook, a combination, right? Uppercut, right? So you have to understand your opponent so that you're able to counterpart whatever they throw at you and then attack, right? In this case, I don't consider prospects my opponent, but I know what they're going to throw at me, and I'm always prepared for that. And what rebuttals do and should do and accomplish, if done properly and trained properly and prepared properly, it will not only diffuse the objection the prospect may give to you, but it really starts to cultivate a good relationship because you're setting the tone. It increases your value. You lead them in the path to the destination, right? Which is the sale or the relationship, right? Number 4 is my favorite because I'm really good at number 1 and number 2, and I'm really good at number 3. And number 4 is storytelling. My opinion and my experience, those who tell the most effective and powerful and engaging story produces the most sales. Now, storytelling has to be done adjusting to who your audience is. With, for example, your tonality, how you speak and you say things during the selling process. Not what you say is how you say it. How you overcome objections. How you ask certain questions. How do you deal with the questions they do ask you? How do you adjust to their attitude and their mindset? And when I say they, I mean, the prospect, right? So storytelling is an instrument. It's like a musician. You're playing a song, you put the right beats, you say the words with the right tonality to create an outcome, which is, emotion, whether it's crying or laughing or dancing or angry or emotion, it doesn't matter. Storytelling leads to action. And that action starts with an emotion, right? But you can't tell a good story unless you understand how to master your weapons, which is rebuttals. Does that make sense? You cannot have rebuttals, or you cannot do selling unless you understand rebuttals, and vice versa, right? And you cannot cold call, and you cannot do selling or rebuttals or storytelling unless you learn how to cold call. That's just my opinion, right? So, number 1 is you got to learn to use a cold calling as a tool. Number 2 is you have to know how to sell. And selling is a vehicle. You have to know how to drive it. Number 3 is you have to know how to use your weapons, which are rebuttals. And number 4, you take the first 3 together, and now you're putting a beautiful song together to give it rhythm and tempo, telling a story. And that story that you convey has to create a vision to the prospect. And that movie and that vision and that story has to be real to them. They have to want to own that song. They have to want to own that movie. Storytelling is phenomenal. And when you could do these 4, number 5, I call it destination. And what is the ultimate destination? sales. So sales is the destination to the cold calling, to the selling, to the rebuttals, to the storytelling. These 5 ingredients, or these 5 preparations and training, if you prepare and you train and you use these weapons or you develop these ingredients, not only do you increase your value, not only do you produce results consistently, but here's the most important part. You start to create and develop very successful and profitable relationships. That's what it's all about. Does that make sense? Well, I hope this was helpful. I want to thank you for sharing your time with Mindset and Attitude to Selling. If you found some value or you got some value from this video, do me a favor, smash the like button, share your comments, let me know whether you agree or disagree, or share your thoughts about how you feel about this video. And if you want to know more and have access to more videos on Mindset and Attitude to Selling, just click the link below. It'll lead you to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my channel, it's free. Watch some of the videos and give me some feedback on what you thought about the other videos you watched. Thank you for your time. Have a very successful day. And remember this, the right preparation and the right training will lead to successful selling. Talk to you later. Have a fantastic day. Bye.